again, you don't have to believe me. Just check this out for yourself. Do the math yourself. So, how the heck can you benefit from what the heck I've just been talking about? There's a number of things. Like I said, get educated. I'm just one dude, one guy, whatever. I'm a dude, okay? I'm talking. I don't expect everybody here to believe me. But what I do request is that you double check everything I'm saying. If you double check everything I'm saying, you'll come to realization for yourself. You'll have the experience of taking that red pill. I've only touched on a fraction of this stuff that I've researched over the last 5 years. A really cool website that gives a broader perspective that even goes beyond gold and silver is at this website here. It's called chrismartinson.com. It's like 36 20-minute videos. So you could watch it all in one day, like Yelena and I did, and we just sat in front of our laptop and watched it. But it's really cool.
Fun.
And it's really fun too. And I know it sounds weird, but I'm an engineer, what can I say? I'm a nerd, right? So check it out. Okay, learn that stuff. Double check, again, double check everything I said. Go to shadowstats.com, go to goldsilver.com, you know, go to uniquewealth.com. There's a whole plethora of information out there. But the point is, get yourself to a level where you can be educated about what's going on so that you can, when people start telling you their opinions, you can listen to them. But listen to them from a background of your education, so that you are not put in a situation where you're taking action that you don't fully understand. The other thing that you can do to benefit from everything that I've talked to you about now is buy gold and silver. I don't care how you buy it, just get it. But people often ask me, well, how do I buy gold? It's not like everybody's just selling gold on the corner street, right? And more specifically, what kind should I buy? So I'm going to break down gold and silver to you in a very simple and succinct way, okay? So a lot of people, when they first get started, they say, okay, the easiest thing to do would be to invest in paper gold and silver. Paper gold and silver are like stocks, ETFs, actual mining companies. I think that's brilliant if you do your homework, okay? Not all mining stocks are created equal. Not all ETFs are created equal. So a lot of people do that, and I say, yeah, if you like that, you like reading technical charts and investigating mining companies, and you know, like Barrick's is one of the largest gold refineries in the world. By all means, go ahead and do that, but I recommend you do that above a minimum percentage of your liquid assets in physical gold and silver. So here's why. Paper gold is still paper. It's not real gold and silver. In fact, GLD, which is the most popular ETF fund for investing in gold, the companies that they invest in, that ETF invests in, a lot of them don't actually have physical gold and silver in their reserves, because there's been a trend lately. The trend is, you know how I talked about fractional reserve banking with paper money? Well, some really ingenious bullion banks have gone on to fractionally reserve their gold and silver, which means if you buy a certificate or if you buy a stock in a company that says, I want to buy an ounce of gold from this company, that company, some of them don't actually have an ounce of gold in reserves to give to you should you call them on that note. Why? Because they fractionally reserved it out. Okay? So bottom line is, you can invest in paper. It's doable if you do it smart. However, it's still paper, not real gold and silver. So the next thing people look at is, and I tell people this, the other opportunities you can invest in government minted gold and silver. You can go to Scotiabank and buy a Canadian Maple Leafs. Okay? or US eagles, or Chinese pandas, Australian philharmonics, and they're real. It's called a Chinese panda, right? So all these these government mints print their own coinage. Okay, here's the U.S., Canada, blah blah blah. Right? That's awesome because it makes it easy for us to get recognized gold and silver. Because if you got a Canadian maple leaf, chances are some other government in the world would recognize that. They'd be willing to swap it with you for cash. However, here's the warning about government minted gold. Again, I'm not against government minted gold. I hold 10% of my physical holdings in government minted gold and silver. Okay? Because there's a time and place for it. However, you are never the owner of government minted gold. You are only ever the bearer of government property. In Canada, Bill C-41, which is an amendment to the Royal Canadian Mint Act. I didn't believe this when the person told me, so I looked it up. I actually looked it up, and it says, in carrying out its objects, the mint has the rights, powers, and privileges in the capacity of a natural person, and may in particular generally do all things that are incidental or conducive to the exercise of its powers with respect to coins of the currency of Canada, coins of the currency of countries other than Canada, gold, silver, and other metals within its borders, metals, plaques, tokens, other objects made of metal. Check this out. Oh, it's not there. You can kind of see it. On a government minted gold coin, you'll actually see it stamped with a denomination. Like the Canadian maples are stamped with $50. That qualifies it as money. That qualifies it as a coin of the currency of Canada because it's stamped with a denomination. That's property of the mint. Even though you're hanging on to it, you're just the bearer, not the owner. Yeah?
Wouldn't it qualify under C3?
Yep. Yep. This one actually applies to something else, though, as well. But it does fall under that, too.
So, Benny, you suggest we go out to Yukon and get some gold and ore in our basement?
Bring the pickaxe! Go! Pan for gold! I'm going to add that to my next presentation. I didn't add that, but that'd be funny. I don't recommend that, but if it floats your boat, rock and roll. Yeah, Michael.
So if you had these coins, and the coin was gold,
Yeah.
0.9999, and the government said that's my property,
Yep.
and you said no, it's not. You put it in a pan and you melted it down.
Yep.
What would happen? Would you lose money on that?
They would throw you in jail for destroying government property.
That's right. That's what I.
Now, if you did it in your basement and didn't tell the government that you were melting their gold, then yeah, I guess you could get away with that.
It would actually diminish the value of it a little bit, right?
Yeah, yeah. Unless you have a very perfect way of melting it down without any impurities. But yeah, I don't recommend that. I won't recommend people melt down gold. But
I'm just saying if things get rough here.
yeah, I'm right there with you. I said I don't recommend it. Would I do it? It's an option. Who knows, right? Yeah.
So that allows the government to confiscate it from you.
Yeah, this has an analog in the U.S. So in the U.S. they have a very similar law, and that's why in 1933 Roosevelt legally recalled all the country's gold because by law it actually belonged to the government. So now, do I think this will happen? I don't think so. There'll be a whole lot more problems if any government recalled the gold of its citizens. However, I'm showing you this because it's possible. Just like Michael said, if things go a certain way, it's possible. Do I think it's probable? Highly unlikely, but it's possible. Okay?
I heard in 1933, less than 10%, or less than 20%, I think it was, people actually turned in their gold.
Yeah.
The other 80% kept it.
Yeah.
Against the law.
Against the law. That's right. There's actually a story, I'll get to you in one second, Igor. There's actually a story about a woman just like that. Then she passed it on to her heirs. Those heirs took it in and wanted to sell it because the year that was stamped on it denoted that this woman should not have had it it got confiscated right from them for nothing.
Should have melted it down.
I know. Crazy, I know. It's nuts. Yeah, you are.
So what do they give you in return? Like they just take the money and that's
They gave them cash.
What are the denomination?
whatever.
At that time,
That was
it was
$24 an ounce.
$20, yeah. And then here's the really cool thing: if you were the government, or if you were one of the lucky people who hung on to the gold but then didn't get caught, was that a couple of days after, when they got all the gold from the U.S. citizens, they repriced the gold to $35 an ounce. So the government made like 60% return, and everybody else pretty much got paper. Now, this brings up another point. Just like what Igor asked, people turned in their gold and they got money. So there's this big, all around 1933, there's a big propaganda campaign saying, people turn in your gold, we'll give you cash. They made it preferable to people to turn in their gold for cash. Notice how that's pretty similar to some of the commercials we've been seeing here today, except it's just not the government. The government has these investment banks, and if you actually, please, just do this, research some of the Oliver the Cash guys, research who owns the company that owns the company that owns them.
The company that owns them, right?
Yeah, and see how close it gets to a J.P. Morgan or a Goldman Sachs. I'm not saying it does, but if somebody were to...
You're just saying wink, wink, nudge, nudge, right?
Yeah, just check it out.
It's possible.
Verify. I don't know. It's possible, but just
Wow.
check it out.
Is that a hint? I'm not getting it, Glenn.
It's okay.